Welcome everyone to the Bloody Elbow sixth round post-fight show with me, Zane Simon, and Eddie Mercado. Here for UFC 213. After the event, got a new interim middleweight champion. His name's Michael Bisping. Robert Whittaker out there holding the real belt.
You said that in the most perfect way possible. Bravo, Zane. Bravo. It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Robert Whittaker is the middleweight champion of the world, regardless of what anyone says, regardless of whatever strap Michael Bisping happens to be carrying or whatever. I mean, the real deal, the real top flight athlete is Robert Whittaker. He's the man. He's king shit right now at 185. And I mean, did anyone really think Romero could go 5 rounds if he couldn't get the finish early?
Yeah, I mean, I basically knew that if Romero couldn't get a finish at some point, it's not so much a matter of early, it's just a matter of at some point, then he wouldn't win.
I mean, early as in before 4 rounds, before the championship round.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the thing, though. We don't know with Romero because we'd never seen him in that far long a fight before, and he can get third round finishes. You know, yeah. I would even say he landed some really good shots on Whittaker late in that fight when they were both ridiculously gassed. But
he did really well for being as tired as he was. Like, I know he was dead tired, but he gutted it out. And Whittaker, kudos to him because he gutted through an early leg injury. I mean, Romero came out right off the bat and threw these insanely dangerous oblique kicks that really sent Whittaker flying. And I guess Whittaker had a pre-existing injury, so that only, re-aggravated that. But couldn't see the deal. He just couldn't build on that. And he kind of abandoned that game plan also once I don't even know if he even realized that Whittaker was even feeling the effects from it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, while it seemed like it slowed him down for round 2 of that fight, after that, he didn't act like he had any problem with his leg.
Yeah, it might have just been like a Charlie horse, like severe Charlie horse. He pushed through it. Or a combination of Yoel slowing down also.
Yeah. Either way, it was damn impressive stuff from Whittaker. Really showed his ability to adjust and stay dedicated and, work with what Yoel had to give him. A lot of people, I don't know, I saw some weird scorecards. First of all, I want to say I gave Whittaker the first round, but I also missed his leg injury initially. Maybe the leg injury is what really pushed it for most people, but they landed the same number of significant strikes. So,
for sure. I mean, for me, I scored it for Romero based off of damage, based on the fact that Whittaker went flying before I even knew that it was an actual injury or anything. I mean, just the impact alone was the most substantial thing going on in that round.
It also didn't help me that I couldn't have my volume very high, so I wasn't hearing most of it. Just going by what I see as I type, and
that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. But anyway, I still, people then. I had a pretty good read on the rest of the fight after that, and there were people telling me like, oh, I thought Yoel Romero had, I scored it for him and all that. And it's like, man, this fight could not have been clearer. It was. At the very least, it's 48-47 Robert Whittaker with him picking up each of the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's how I had it. I gave Rob the last 3 because honestly, in that 3rd round, I don't even recall Romero throwing a single strike or landing a single strike. Like his output was dwindled down to nothing at that point, and it didn't get any better. Like he went for it though in the 5th, as gassed as he was.
He did everything he could when it was all on the line, but Whittaker's just too tough for that. He's not the kind of dude that has a chin to crack. I mean, I know that Wonder Boy hurt him and TKO'd him, but that was a lot of precision strikes. Romero is not the kind of guy to really land a lot of quick strikes in a row.
No, Romero's the beast mode guy.
Yeah.
But Whittaker was stuffing the takedowns. Like he was refusing to be on his back. And that's outstanding.
Yeah, Whittaker's really takedown defense. He's proven beyond any doubt that it doesn't matter who the opposition is, he's going to stay on his feet.
Yeah, it's Like I don't even want to see him fight Bisping. Like I'm okay with Bisping just being like this ceremonial figurehead, much like the Queen of England is. Like that's cool with me. Like go that route, dude. Like let Whittaker, you know what I mean?
No, I hope they book it, and then like a week before Bisping like injures his hand or something, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna retire.
I would be okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that.
Anyway, that fight's on the horizon. Bisping doing his job, got in the cage, hyped it up, made a scene. That's what he's there for. If nothing else, if it's going to be his swan song, you know he's going to do a lot to build it up. And it's going to be mostly him because Whittaker, God love him, is not there to talk on the mic.
No, Whittaker's strictly business. But I will say this, though. At least Bisping kept it short. Like he came out, he talked his shit, he disrespected the sport and his opponent, and he got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like, he did his job.
All right, so before that, Alistair Overeem beat Fabricio Werdum again in another fight that could have been scored the other way. I scored it for Werdum. I am not all that sad Werdum lost, though, honestly.
I'm not either.
I don't dislike Werdum, but, you know, the first 2 rounds of that fight were close and ugly, and there's if 2 judges said he dropped the first 2 rounds, whatever. I'm not, you know.
Yeah, the fight was a dud up until the 3rd round. The first 2 rounds were really, really.
The first 2 rounds were weird, but I mean, I enjoyed it just because it was obvious the whole way through just how high the stakes were. Like, it was weird, but it's also one of those things, like, you know how chinny Alistair Overeem is. You know it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm watching this fight with my buddy, and like first round comes, second round comes, and my dude's like, hey, Werdum's gonna catch him with that knee. Like I'm telling you, like he's gonna catch him with that knee. And I was like, maybe. 3rd round, sure as shit, man. He caught him with that fucking knee, dropped him, and I'm like, oh, classic Overeem. But this is like the new conservareem. Like his plan really almost backfired on him.
Yeah, I mean that was why I picked Werdum, because I thought he could just kind of stay weird enough and stay alive long enough to catch Overeem with something, and he did, but he didn't put him away. So, you know, I still thought he won the fight, but I'm not mad that he didn't win the fight, even though I picked him.
I think part of the reason I didn't really enjoy the fight is because it came right after the Curtis Blaydes and Omielanczuk fight, which was an absolute dud. So I was already like, you know, I was craving blood at this point, and it just didn't happen. Almost in the 3rd, but
let's dive into that Blaydes Omielanczuk fight and mostly skip it. Honestly, like, I was hoping Blaydes would really show up and put on a performance against Omielanczuk, who's just kind of a dude in the heavyweight division, no matter how much the UFC tried to build him as like, oh, no, he's a brawler. And it's like, we've all seen this dude. We know he's not a brawler.
No, he's just a big, short, stocky guy that moves well.
He's tough, and he has reasonably okay kickboxing for the division. And, like, those are his skills.
Blaydes went 0 for 14 with the takedowns.
I know. That's a bad look, man. Like, he's a power wrestling beast, and that's what he's supposed to do. And if he's not getting takedowns on Omielanczuk, like, it doesn't get easier the higher up you go.
Yeah, it just shows he's really going to have to learn to set those takedowns up. And I think it's just learning to get comfortable striking first, because he's just really not down for that. So,
I mean, he's tough as hell, and he was dedicated to working his striking all night. Like, he kept going after it. He wasn't just shooting. He just wasn't able to connect his strikes to his takedowns at all. And he couldn't the thing that troubled me is that he couldn't circle off the cage and get a new angle on anything. So, like, he'd get in on the double leg and try to switch to a single and back to a double, but it was always just pushing straight in. And all Omielanczuk had to do was get underhooks, and the whole thing was off.
Yeah, it was almost like he was just content to wall install. Like, he's not, you know, absorbing any damage. He's obviously winning in a dominant position. You know, he didn't win any fans. Blaydes didn't. That's for damn sure. And Omielanczuk, that's 3 straight losses for him. So, and he's the number 15 heavyweight, or at least was up until this point.
Yeah, it should have been a fight pass prelim. It did not need to be on the pay-per-view. It's not.
Yeah, Blaydes had a chance though, man. They gave him
Yep.
the opportunity and he didn't capitalize.
Yeah. So before that, Anthony Pettis beat Jim Miller. This was an awesome fight. Delivered on all cylinders. Tons of fun. Pettis with like that little bit of extra footwork to actually circle away from pressure, suddenly right back in form and looking great.
Yeah, but this is a very favorable matchup for him. Like, very favorable.
It is, but
Miller is super passive in terms of who he lets dictate the fight. Like, he's definitely not down to over, just take over unless he has like a severe advantage anywhere. He will, but someone he can't just go out and dominate. Like, he's going to let the other guy set the tone. And that's kind of what happened.
This is Jim Miller, though. Like, off that Thiago Alves win, I know he lost to Dustin Poirier afterward, but like
I scored that for Miller, but yeah.
You scored. So you scored the Poirier fight for Miller. Like, Miller has been improving post Lyme disease. He has been showing he can mix it up more. He can stay busier. He can do different things. But Pettis just looked great. Like, he made sure that every time Miller closed him down, he would cut angles, find counters. He landed some of his big signature strikes, a lot of jump knees, that cartwheel kick at the end.
Yeah, and it was really fun down the stretch. Like, they both, like, Jim Miller threw a cartwheel.
I know.
That happened.
And Pettis even showed some actual, like, offensive wrestling out there, too. Stuffed some takedowns, got some takedowns.
I'm such an Anthony Pettis fan, but I just don't believe he's like back or anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still questions to be asked of him in a fight against somebody like Tony Ferguson or Khabib Nurmagomedov or the dudes right at the top. But just getting a win was good for him.
A win is definitely much needed for that guy. And but I just hope they don't put him right back up there with like a Ferguson or something like that. Like I
feel you in part. I kind of feel you, but he's also like, I mean, what are you going to do with Anthony Pettis? Are you going to go for like a slow rebuild for a dude 10 years into his career? Like,
no, but what about Kevin Lee? Someone on the come up, someone who still needs to face someone that's elite, someone that can challenge him in a striking manner.
But I don't know if he really, if he loses, then you burn Lee just to rebuild Pettis.
But does that really burn Lee if he loses to Pettis? If anything, it'll just teach him a lesson, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think it's...
I don't know. I kind of feel like Pettis is at the point where I just want to see him like against the best. And if he can't get wins, that's on him.
I feel like that we already saw that and it didn't go his way. And now it's like, let him start becoming a gatekeeper for the guys that are rushing towards the top 10. Or the top 5, excuse me. Maybe.
He should still kind of be in his prime. Like, he's only 30. He's been fighting 10 years. So we're at the point where he may hit that decline, the 9-year rule. But, if he's got a couple more years at the top, I'd like to see him spend those couple of years top dudes.
Yeah, but he's also fought a lot of those guys already, too.
He hasn't fought Tony Ferguson.
True. Everyone wants to fight Ferguson.
He hasn't fought Khabib.
He hasn't fought Justin Gaethje. What's up?
He hasn't fought Justin Gaethje. I'd be 1,000% down for that fight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
All right. So before that, Rob Font, Douglas De Silva. Font putting on the best performance of his career. He looked so good in this fight. This is the first time he's always been a guy who he has some tools everywhere. He hits with power, but he's not the most the highest output guy. He's not the most sort of complete in all the little intermediate areas. Like we saw against Lineker, he could just kind of be bullied off his game. And this was Font like going after somebody all fight, filling every second of the fight. De Silva misses on overhand. Font is right there with a knee and then like a hook off the knee and then pushing back, going back to range, coming back after him. Just every second he had something for Douglas De Silva before he put him away, and it was pretty.
Yeah, his phase shifting was absolutely on point. I mean, everything on the break, he was He had an answer for everything. Like, moving to the next phase of this fight, what am I going to do on the break? Oh, I'm going to clip him with this, or I'm going to clip him with that. He looked really, really, really good. And shit, man. I think he's underrated as hell. Like, Rob Font is an underrated ass dude, and he comes from a really solid squad with the Mark Delagrati. Like, that dude knows his shit, man. I think isn't he like one of the highest ranked crews for Muay Thai in the United States or something like that? Like,
yeah. I mean, they've done a good job building reasonable strikers, like, you know, building good MMA strikers over the years. And Font seems like he's really building well, and he's getting to the point. You know, he's 30. He's been in the game for 5 or 6 years. Like, this looked like the performance of somebody just hitting the prime of their career and ready to start face another top competition.
Yeah, he looked really smooth out there. Like, absolutely smooth.
This looks like somebody who's improved a lot from that Whittaker fight and can start going after guys at the top of the division again. Win or lose, we don't know, but, you know, he's ready to fight.
Yeah, I like to see him fight a wrestler. See what he's got, if he can stop the takedown. Maybe like a Matthew Lopez, Pedro Munhoz, someone he can still piece up on the feet, but will also test him with his takedown defense.
Sure, yeah, that would be Pedro Munhoz would definitely, or Matthew Lopez would both make sense. Lopez has just been getting thrown all into the deep end for every fight, so
he's treading.
Yeah. All right. So before that, Alexei Oleinik, Travis Browne. Man.
Yes, I am. Like, I am now an Alexei Oleinik fan. He gives me the Dan Kelly vibe. He overcame the adversity, came back late to get a crazy win that he probably shouldn't have. What's not to love here?
Yeah, no, I got all the respect for this game. He's been out there doing the damn thing for way too long now, since 1997. We are 20 years into Alexei Oleinik's career.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's insane.
You know, he's 40. He's had knee surgeries. He is a verifiably old man. And I don't think I've ever seen Travis Browne look worse than that. Like, even I hesitate to say his fight with Cain Velasquez was better, but also, like, it's Cain Velasquez and not Alexei Oleinik, so over by Cain Velasquez, to me, that didn't mean a lot at the time. It's like, yeah, Travis Browne's not that good. We know that. But he looked gassed within 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's because he really just went all out for the finish. Like, he hurt Oleinik early, and was like, oh, I got this guy's number. Let me just go out and spam these ridiculously wild, gas-consuming haymakers. And
I don't even think it's that, though. I think it's that he was throwing nothing but kicks. Other than that haymaker moment, all he was doing was trying to kick. And I think that was the bigger problem, that he just burned all his gas throwing all these high octane kicks that, you know, they didn't hurt Oleinik. Or, you know, if they did hurt him, he didn't put him away. And it just seemed, I don't know. It was it was a great performance from Oleinik. I don't want to take anything away from him. He's always had faster, more powerful boxing than you would think for a dude that has as many subs as he does and is as slow and plodding as he is.
Yeah, how many subs is that? 41 subs on his record?
Yeah.
And fucking Travis Browne was like, hey, I hurt this guy. Let me go to the ground with him.
Phil McKenzie put it best, that no fighter Travis Browne seems to have an unreal ability, unmatched ability to find the one thing that his opponent is good at and just drift into letting that happen.
It's like a black hole. It's just like sucking him in. It's so true.
It's like Arlovsky can only throw right hands. Travis Browne's like, yeah, I'll let right hands hit me. And Oleinik feels he had this thing where like Alexei Oleinik's like, I got weird chokes, and Travis Brown's like, I guess
I'll take
okay.
it. Man, and Oleinik, man, in his last fight, he submitted a dude that had him fully mounted.
Yeah,
Like, he caught an Ezekiel choke without a gi on.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't fight. Like, oh man, I just don't understand. I really don't understand. And Travis Brown's, he's with the new squad now too, right? Like, he's with Josh Barnett.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Tarverdian wasn't in his corner. I thought that he was still with Tarverdian, but Tarverdian wasn't in his corner.
No,
So
I heard he hashed things out with Josh Barnett and went and started training with him. So,
I'm not going to say that Josh Barnett doesn't have the best track record as an MMA coach, but Josh Barnett doesn't have the best track record as an MMA coach. I mean, you know, he was also like in charge of part-time coaching the Four Horsewomen. That was like his bag, which is probably how Travis Brown ended up there too.
Yeah, I had a buddy. He texted me during the fight and was like, well, first of all, he called Travis Brown a bum. And second of all, he was just like, man, like leaving Jackson Wink was the worst thing he ever did for his career. And there might be some truth to that. Like, he's really
there's a lot of truth to that. I mean,
he's really like, that's 4 straight losses, losing 5 of his last 6.
Yeah.
His last win was Matt Mitrione, and well, damn, that was January of 2016. That really wasn't that long ago.
No, he just fights a lot, and he's not any better prepared for any of these fights.
It's almost as if he's not even training.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not working for him, and it's kind of depressing. This is probably the end of his UFC run. I don't see them giving him another chance after this.
He's got the whole strings that can be pulled with Rousey that could get him one more fight.
I guess,
but it would have to be like somebody outside of the top 15 if they'll even grant him that sort of mercy.
This is a fight he was supposed to win and win clearly. Like,
I put that son of a bitch on my DraftKings, and like when I was doing it, I knew better. I was like, man, like, am I really doing this? Like, am I gonna? I had to though, but
yeah. All right. So let's go then to Chad Laprise, Brian Camozzi, and talking about the losses keep on coming, man. The Camozzi brothers.
Yeah, don't drink their Kool-Aid. That's for damn sure. It wasn't. It was lackluster. I mean, he was out there looking really tech and really kind of Camozzi-ish, but really couldn't get anything going. It was just a real tit for tat fight, and Laprise just took over once he found his opportunity late.
Yeah, there was a lot of volume that with almost none of it landing clean. Just like both guys just kind of landing, clipping shots, hitting the glove, hitting the forearm a little, maybe, you know, somebody slipping and something grazing the.
Yeah, it was a real tech fight, but low impact until shit hit the fan.
Both the Camozzis just, they don't really seem to have the athleticism to hang at this level. And there are a whole variety of fights that can expose that for them. Like, doesn't necessarily matter if it's a stand-up fight, doesn't necessarily matter if it's a grappling battle, doesn't necessarily matter if it's a wrestling match. They're just they're just a step behind. Before that, Thiago Santos, Gerald Meerschaert, really, really good win for Santos. He looked fantastic.
Yeah, he looked powerful.
Yeah, Meerschaert's one of those dudes, like, we knew that he wasn't going to be on Santos's level athletically, but Meerschaert's also, like, he's funky with his stand-up. He's hard to time. He's hard to predict. And he's tough as hell. Yeah, like, he just used knowing, okay, I'm tough, and I have some funk in my game, and he just went after Santos as fast as he could, shoot all the takedowns, you know, mix it up, do whatever he could at any moment. And Santos just shut him down and brutalized him.
He did, man.
Like, Meerschaert could not have had a better approach to that fight, and it did not matter even a little.
Yeah, everything went wrong. That was like a Murphy's Law kind of fight for Meerschaert. But you know, kudos to Santos. He is really a force. You know, he's getting better.
Yeah.
And I even liked his call out. He called out
Yep.
Gegard Mousasi, right? So
yeah, wants to get that one back. I would say it's the best extended performance of his career. Like, he did well against Elias Theodorou in kind of a grinding fight. And, he knocked out Marshman after some trouble early, trading some shots early. But other than his quick KOs, this is the best he's looked at actually just putting together a controlled game plan round after round and really taking it to somebody.
yeah, and different areas too. Like, he was schooling Mearshart on the ground. Like,
Yeah.
he was really putting a stamp on him, like really heavy ground and pound. I mean, the dude has venom. Like, whether it's on the ground, whether it's standing up, Santos really has venom, and that's going to take him far at 185.
Yep.
That's one of those divisions where, like, you know, if you're going to be super athletic and have really good power, you're going to do really well. So
yeah, he's going to win. He's going to at least win three out of every 5 fights he's in. That may never get him to the top 5, may even only ever keep him at the edges of the top 10, but yeah. He's going to hang
2
around.
of those 3 will probably be impressive knockouts.
Oh, yeah.
Which will keep
For that, Belal Muhammad beat Jordan Meehan, and I really didn't think that Belal Muhammad would push a fast enough pace to make Meehan just kind of fade out and break down, and he didn't, and Meehan still did.
Well, I would say he didn't in the first, but that second round, Belal definitely came out with purpose. Definitely came out with the intention on just staying busy, like constant busyness.
Yeah, but like that's the kind of fight that I figured, like, if it's busy, Meehan can still hang. Like, because it was really with the Santos fight and the Alves fight and the Meek fight, I thought those were really more like, couple of dudes who have power and a little crazy to them, who, when things get tough, they will just, they will come back and assert themselves in a way that Meehan just can't handle. Like, that's certainly what we saw. I felt like we saw in the Meek fight, where like Meek was getting hurt. Pronounced Meek, but whatever. And Meek was getting hurt, and then he just like, is jumping at Meehan with like flying knees and just going after him. And Meehan's just kind of like, you know what? I don't want to do this. This isn't fun.
Yeah,
and Muhammad didn't have any of that. He's, it's just like, this is a patient, controlled, round by round MMA fight. Keeping it in his face a little, and Meehan just was like not ready to stay in it after a round.
Yeah, I mean, once the fight started getting hard, that's when Meehan shut down. He was like, okay,
yeah,
it's time to go on autopilot and just not get hurt here. And that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah. So good win for Muhammad, and at some point the UFC's got to ask themselves why they're giving Jordan Meehan fights if he's showing up like this.
I don't know. I mean, at least he showed up and he looked really good in that first round. That fight with Thiago Alves, I mean, he was showing his ass in that fight. Like, he really was like dicking around, and it just seemed like he wasn't taking it seriously. And in the first round of this fight, though, I mean, he was doing his thing. He was stuffing takedowns. Yeah. He was attacking the leg, but
dude, this is the dude that arguably beat Tyron Woodley.
Yeah,
back in
that's crazy.
2012. That he was like, he had a run in the in 2011, 2012 where he beat Josh Berkman, Marius Zaromskis, Evangelista Santos, lost a split to Woodley. And then, 1 to 3 more solid fights before getting to the or on his way into the UFC. And he just looked so good at that time. And it is not, the wheels have fallen way off. All right. Before that, on the prelims, Cody Stamann, Terrion Ware, fun fight. Stamann looks like a good, powerful athlete. He kind of seems like he's adapted some of the less desirable parts of Darren Cruikshank's game, but also seems faster and more powerful. like a little bit more bricked up.
Definitely bricked up for sure.
But he's got some of that fadeaway kick combos thing that you're like, oh man, you're gonna eat punches doing that.
Yeah, like Tim Kennedy's like sidekick to the belly when he's up against the cage kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Stamann's fun, man. He definitely put on a show. Like he showboats. He's got a little bit of power to him, and you know he's down to get into an ugly, nasty kind of exciting fight that fans like to see.
Yep.
So, you know, good on him. I thought he showed up. And right out of the gate, I mean, he came out looking like he had already been in the UFC. Like his
absolutely.
composure for you know, being a noob.
I'm going to feel a little bad for Conor because where this kind of looked exactly like what I thought might be the case, which is that I'll put together technical fighter, athletic enough to have the game he has and hang in the UFC.
Yeah, Ware was definitely looking smooth out there. Like really smooth with the hands, really composed himself. Like he looked like he belonged there. But, you know, when it's all said and done, he just didn't seem as complete as Stamann did.
Well, and I think it's just that, you know, when you don't have that dynamicism and you want to box in the pocket, like you want to step into the pocket and let your hands go, and you're not as fast as the dude in front of you. Like, I don't think it's so much that Ware's takedown defense is bad. It's just that by the time Stamann was in on his hips, Ware had nothing to do. Like,
and Stamann was really baiting him in for that. Like, he was really encouraging him to bring the punches, and then his follow-through. Stamann's follow-through with those takedowns are really impressive. Like, he really drives through his opponent. So,
I would actually be interested to see Terrion Ware, though, fight somebody like Joe Soto or something at 135. Somebody who's also not the most athletic dude in the world. I mean, I know Soto's a good wrestler, but some other dudes who are like solid veterans who aren't great athletes who can go out there and mix it up, you know?
That is definitely Soto, but Soto's got that slick-ass ground jiu-jitsu.
I know. I'm not saying that, you know, this is no easy fights for Ware. What I'm saying. I'm just saying that I would like to see him be able to get a few of those fights against some dudes who could make for some fun exchanges. Because Ware has a very veteran game. Like, he reminds me of without the athleticism.
Say that one more time. You broke up.
He reminds me of Jorge Masvidal without the athleticism.
Okay. And without the takedown defense. Yeah.
Well, I think the takedown defense is a lot down to the athleticism. Like I say, I think when you're a big step slower than the dude who's shooting in on you, it's hard to.
I mean, part of that is the case, but a lot of it was also just being baited into fully committing to your strikes and abandoning the thought of a takedown.
That too. All right, and before that, Trevin Giles, James Bochnovic. Giles showed up and looked good, put a clinic on Bochnovic, which is exactly what I want to see because watching tape on Bochnovic, I was like, this dude doesn't belong. I mean,
it's a favor for who's his mentor? Rockwell.
Well,
yeah, this seemed like a favor.
He's got a great looking record, but you watch tape on him, and it was a lot of him getting beat on. And then the other dude getting tired and him still being there and slapping on a submission. And it's just like that is not gonna carry him very far in the UFC. So
yeah, no.
I was really glad to see Giles show up and really turn it on him.
Yeah, huge ground and pound, really dominant, and I'm glad to see some new blood at 205. Like that division desperately needs a renaissance. So you know, exciting, dominant way to start the card.
Yeah, good pickup for them. Back up to the top, Whittaker, Romero delivered, great fight. Pettis, Miller delivered. Font, Silva wasn't a pay-per-view fight. I mean, it was a cool fight, a great fight for Font, but it's, you know, that Overeem, Werdum, Blaydes, Omielanczuk thing is sitting in the middle of this card is not pretty for this card at the end of the day.
You know what? This card was like, or the main card is like, you get this great looking hamburger, right? And you got the fancy buns, the garnishing looks good, but the meat is just terrible. Like E. coli, mad cow disease. Like it's just not good.
No,
Like,
maybe not even the meat. I would say like the lettuce and the tomato or something. Like
like soggy lettuce.
Yeah, like it's just parts of it are bad, other parts are great, and you just kind of have to like chew through the bad parts to enjoy the rest of it.
Like a high school cafeteria chicken patty.
That may still be a little too harsh. Either way, I mean, at the end of the day, getting to see Whittaker Romero, that was a great fun fight, and I'm glad we got to see it because
we have a true middleweight champion now, which is good. Good for the sport.
All right. On that note, we're going to wrap it up. You can find me on Twitter at TheZaneSimon. You can find Eddie on Twitter at TheEddieMercado. You can find both of us over at BloodyElbow.com. Give this video a like. That's the thumbs up thing over on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, MMANation.com, DOTCOM. That's where you get all the latest Bloody Elbow shows, videos, news, analysis, all that stuff that we do week in, week out. We will be back next week with UFC Glasgow in Scotland. We will have the Vivisection, If I Did It, Care Don't Care, Heavy Hands, all our normal weekly shows, Knuckle Up. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back at you with more stuff.